You're listening to the Studio Shangri-La podcast. And this is a reading of quantum biology concepts and multidimensional life, part 1. Within this grand cosmic environment, we participate in a spiraling ladder of evolution, not unlike the DNA helix. And when world-shaking events occur, or big ideas come along, they affect our developmental tree of decisions. The choices we make as species and as individuals. Then we must grow and adapt within this magnificent web of intercausality. One big set of ideas calling for more growth comes from an emergent ideology and field called quantum biology, an offshoot of quantum physics. Keep in mind, though, that these are formal academic words for much larger, even philosophical concepts that expand our consciousness and awareness. Now, it can be said that not everybody out there is on the same page of awareness. There are levels. However, everyone has the opportunity, should they choose, to keep learning and to keep exposing oneself to new ideas. Though it's also said, under this vast umbrella called the universe, there's nothing entirely new, that everything can be traced back to the same building blocks. Quantum physics is the study of these building blocks, the unseen forces. And with quantum biology, their interaction and entanglement with our cellular systems. Some define these quanta as packets of light energy or photons, infinitesimal yet cosmically important movers and balancers of everyday operations, and the elementals of all matter. And having such importance, they have their own set of special behaviors, such as being able to teleport or translocate like you'd see in a science fiction movie. Well, that science fiction is based in reality, though. And have you ever noticed how the visions and fantasies that capture our imaginations the most come into being? There are lots of examples of that, and perhaps we have the quanta to thank as helpers. Whatever your feelings or beliefs about the immaterial it's clear there is a grand design in play. From the neurons in your brain to the similar appearing branches of a tree, a work of art. There are many names for the subatomic energies that help move these pieces and comprise the fabric of existence, such as the quark, proton, electron, and neutrino. These particles have been observed as having dual wave and particle function, among possibly other different behaviors. Consider sand dunes. The sand is an excellent example of a dual function that's within our visual spectrum. That's because the sand can exist as both grains or particles and also as a larger wave, the dune crest, of which you can clearly see. There are even types of sand grains, depending on what mineral it's made of. And this is a suitable analogy for the many flavors of quantum particles that have been discovered. As the ancient Emerald Tablet stated, in a phrase that has again become somewhat popular today, as above, so below. That is, that the forms that we see on different levels of existence have counterparts and similar structures in other levels or dimensions. The grains of sand form the larger structure of the dune. And then the dune interacts with the environment as a wave shape, and so on. Then behind the scenes, on the fundamental level, you have those cheeky little subatomic particles. This is a long way of introducing the vast network or web of existence, which we see part of, and yet don't see all of, with only our eyes, that is. You could say this is a quantum physics concept, or the holographic or fractal universe. However, something very similar can be traced back 3,000 years to the Mahayana school of Buddhism. And the Atharva Veda states, if untold Buddha lands are reduced to atoms, in one atom are untold lands, and as in one, so in each. The atoms to which these Buddha lands are reduced in an instant are unspeakable. And so are the atoms of continuous reduction, moment to moment, going on for untold eons. These atoms contain lands unspeakably many, and the atoms in these lands are even harder to tell of. Much later on, in the 70s, author Francis Cook eloquently described this Indra's net as follows. Far away in the heavenly abode of the great god Indra, there is a wonderful net which has been hung by some cunning artificer in such a manner that it stretches out infinitely in all directions. In accordance with the extravagant tastes of deities, the artificer has hung a single glittering jewel in each eye of the net. And since the net itself is infinite in dimension, the jewels are infinite in number. There hang the jewels glittering like stars in the first magnitude, a wonderful sight to behold. If we now arbitrarily select one of these jewels for inspection and look closely at it, we will discover that in its polished surface there are reflected all the other jewels in the net, infinite in number. Not only that, but each of the jewels reflected in this one jewel is also reflecting all the other jewels, so that there is an infinite reflecting process occurring. And so, part 1 concludes. With this description of Indra's net, which is much like the holographic or fractal universe concepts in modern times. Stay tuned for more of the Studio Shangri-La podcast, including part 2 of the reading of quantum biology concepts. If you're interested in getting involved, or have questions or comments, please visit the contact page of the website, www.shangri-la.com. Thanks for listening.